Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. Double honours to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. So today, I was going to look into the solar eclipse, the soon up and coming 2024 solar eclipse that is due to take place in America very soon. And I was also going to talk about how I came to this truth, how I found out that I was a Hebrew Israelite. And I've explained it before, is through having a particular vision from Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and I was shown certain events, certain things taking place, certain messages in there, and obviously that I was directly told that the Bible is for you. So obviously to talk about that relating to the solar eclipse that's due to take place in America. But before I get into that, I'm sitting here, trying to put the video together. I've been busy for a little while, the last hour or so, and I started to, because I was able to be on my own, even though I was busy, I was able to meditate in my mind about making a video and what I wanted to say, and so on and so forth. And obviously within that time I had to contemplate the vision that I had, and I'll explain it in a minute for anyone that hasn't heard it. The vision that I had that brought me into this truth, I had to contemplate on it, re-visualize it and try to see it again. And then when you see it again, knowing the understanding that you have, see if you can see anything more in there. And I've explained before, when I had this particular vision, I had no idea of what the scriptures are, or the Bible, or anything like that, no understanding at all. And then I was shown this information which was biblical, which was, eventually I found out it's correct according to the scriptures, what I saw in the vision. And even though, you go over these scriptures many times, you might read them, you might hear someone else reading them out, it still doesn't quite click. And so even just sitting here now, I'm contemplating on the particular vision. I was contemplating on the part at the end when Yahweh Shai passed over my head, and then obviously connecting that to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Passover. If you don't know, it's tomorrow is when the sun goes down. Saturday, this is the 15th day of the month. So that is the night of the Passover, and then 6 days after that you have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And so obviously I was contemplating, the Passover, the fact that I had the vision, the fact that Yahweh Shai passed over, and obviously I was trying to re-visualize the vision for the sake of making this particular video relating to the solar eclipse. And so I was doing that for a couple of hours, busy and thinking, I'm going to do this, do that, and I say this, and trying to visualize what I saw, re-visualize what I saw. And then obviously I sit down at some point, like I sat down now, and then when I sit down, any scriptures that I thought of, I try to bring them up and go through them and select what you need. And so just before I actually pressed record, literally you're talking like 5 minutes ago, just before I pressed record, and then I was again re-visualizing the vision, and remembered the part at the end, Yahweh Shai is coming over the top, thinking about it, and then the Holy Spirit obviously put a phrase into my mind, and the phrase was cry maid. Now it's funny because when straight away you hear it, the phrase falls in, and you know it connects, but you think to yourself, how do you miss it? So for example, typed it into Google straight away, crime made, Matthew 25 says, and at midnight, 25:6, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. So the vision that I had, that I'm going to describe it in this particular video, was actually at midnight, at what we call in this Western society, what we call midnight. And the last thing to happen in the vision was Yahweh Shai to go over the top of me, fly over my head like Passover. It's, like I say, the Holy Spirit is just threw it in my mind now. I didn't connect the midnight part before, because obviously midnight's that's what we call the time. But obviously that's and obviously midnight has its own meaning. In the scriptures, when the darkness, we're in complete darkness as a nation. We don't know our power. We don't know who we are. Before Elijah Abba Bivens was on the scene, our people, we had no idea what our identity was. This word was not getting spread, so we were in complete darkness in midnight. But to be able to relate that to the vision that I had, because it actually was literally at midnight, and the last thing that, like I say, that happened was Yahweh Shai passing over the top. And just now, when I was thinking about that related to the video, and without thinking about the midnight, the time, and anything like that, he just threw it into my mind, dumped it into my mind. Cry made. I said, hang on a minute, that sounds familiar. So I typed cry made, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. So that perfectly describes the last moment of that particular vision. So, all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. And you think to yourself, well, how many times have I read this scripture, and how many times have I heard it being read out? Yet it's only just now, to this right at this moment, that fell into my mind. And so obviously now I know that's the Holy Spirit that's done that. I had no reason to think of this particular precept relating to the video that I want to make and the information I want to go to. But while I was sitting here, contemplating on Yahweh Shai passing over, he, in that vision, he passed over. I couldn't see him. I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know what his name was, but I just knew that was the Son of the Most High, and I knew he was coming, and he was coming to do damage. You imagine, I had that vision, I saw him pass over. I didn't even know what a Passover was. I was like, what's a Passover? So obviously, now you think this is 6 years down the line. You've learnt all these scriptures, but obviously it's he's still opening your mind, still working on it. So Thawala Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. That is another precept that I can add. People say, when I explain the vision, they say, why don't you write it down? I say, well, it's already written. It's already written in the scriptures. And what I might do, really, one day I should really do, is try to find at least one precept per every action that I saw within the vision, and try and place them in order and make it a visual thing. I would love to be able to take that vision and replay it to you down this screen. If I could do that, how much money I could make, or how many people I could wow. And it's nothing to do with me. It's not my doing. It's the doing of the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's why I say, all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. But yeah, it is what it is. But it's Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and it's the Spirit, it's the Holy Spirit working on you. So what I wanted to talk about today, like I say, was the solar eclipse and having that particular vision. At the minute, we're in the month of Aviv. It says here Abib, A-B-I-B, but I believe it's pronounced Aviv. So you can see here, Exodus 23:15, thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I command thee, in the time appointed of the month of of Aviv, for in it thou camest out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And then you also have the Passover, which is tomorrow. This is Numbers chapter 9. And Yahweh spoken to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt. And when it says land of Egypt, that means ancient Mizraim. Egypt is a Greek word which basically means bondage or captivity, so that's why this word is used to, the label is placed upon Mizraim, because that was a place where we were in captivity. It's also a word placed upon America, and as well as many other names. Moving on, let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at this appointed season, in the 14th day of this month at even. So when the sun goes down tomorrow, Saturday, the sun goes down, the day ends, the new day starts when the sun goes down, and that will be the start of the 15th day. So it says, ye shall keep it in his appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof shall ye keep it. And then it obviously goes on, Moses spoken to the children of Israel, they should keep the Passover, and they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even, in the wilderness of Sinai, according to Yahweh, according to that Yahweh commanded Moses. So did the children of Israel. If you're new, just in case you don't know, it goes on a bit further. And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day because they were unclean. Maybe you go to wake your grandfather up 2 days before the Passover, and he's dead. He's passed away in his sleep. You try to wake him up, you realize he's dead, but you've touched a dead body, so now you're unclean. You're unclean for 7 days, according to the scriptures. For one example, it says there are certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto him, we are defiled by the dead body of a man, wherefore we are kept back, that we may not offer an offering to Yahweh in his appointed season among the children of Israel. And Moses said unto them, stand still, and I will hear what Yahweh will command concerning you. And Yahweh spake to Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in the journey afar off, yet shall keep the Passover unto Yahweh. The 14th day of the second month at even they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. So they shall leave none of it unto the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. But the man that is clean and not on a journey, and forbeareth to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not forth the offering of Yahweh in his appointed season. That man shall bear his sin. So, we're at that time now. We're in the first month of the year, and the Passover is tomorrow night, followed by the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's the month of Abib. It says here Abib, but it's pronounced Aviv, and it'll also come up in the scriptures as Nisan. And I believe that is after the exile from Egypt. And the phrase Nisan, the word Nisan was used while in Egypt, the word Aviv. So that represents the first month of the year. Now, if you're new, you can look it up, a Hebrew calendar. See, the minute you're following a Gregorian calendar, it's difficult for me to say that. And so you can see, for example, on the left-hand side, you have month, you have Nisan or Aviv. And today's calendar, that would fall around March or April. Bible references. You've got Exodus 13:4, 23:15, 34:18, Deuteronomy 16:1. And then it goes on to give you the holidays, so Passover and unleavened bread. So if you're new, for example, and there's always people asking, well, when are the holy days? And all you have to do really is print something like this and keep that. You have a reference there, because this obviously happens every year. So you can get told at the minute, you can get told this, that, and the other. By the end of the year you'll forget. By next year you'll forget. So there's people that are always asking, and really, if you go online, you find something like this, you can print that up. You can cross-reference with the scriptures. What's supposed to happen, and what's supposed to be done, and easy way to remember what they are. So we're in the first month of the year at the minute, and this is 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Now we have the solar eclipse. Okay, so we understand, I'm just going through basic information just to set the scene. So you have the understanding where we're at the minute. We're in the beginning of the year. We had, according to these heathens, their calendar, we had this westernized calendar, we had 2024 starting on the 1st of January at midnight. We warned you that 2024 was going to become a hectic year, and lo and behold, all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, as soon as 2024 came in on day one, and there was an earthquake in Japan. And what I explained at the time was that these heathens had celebrated their new year at midnight. They were like, Happy New Year, it's midnight. And even though Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai doesn't go by these heathens' calendar, he still delivered them a present, a reward of judgment. And it came in 2024, but it didn't come at midnight, it came at 4 p.m. the following day, because that's when the sun goes down. So even though Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai does not go according, he's not sitting there counting while it's 2024, he's watching these heathens celebrate their 1st of January midnight. And so what he does, he delivers them a present, a gift of judgment, which is an earthquake. And that's what we witnessed. I think I mentioned it at the time. You've got them celebrating their New Year's Eve at midnight, and you've got the men of the Most High telling you that 2024 is going to get hectic. As soon as 2024 came, the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai turned up the heat. He didn't do it at midnight. He did it at 4 o'clock, roughly 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon, which is when the sun went down in Japan. So now, Apostle Tahar has coined 2024 the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And, Lord willing, by the end of the year, things, escalate in that direction. But now we're at a time where the actual year starts. Just like on New Year's Day, the heathens were celebrating at midnight. The day doesn't start at midnight. The day starts when the sun goes down. So we know this. So they're celebrating their thing. Yahweh gave them Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai gave them a gift of judgment. He didn't give it at midnight. He gave it according to when he decides. The Most High decided that's when the day comes in, when the sun goes down. Now I'll give you your gift. Have a magnitude 7 earthquake on the Richter scale. Have that. There's your gift. And the prophets warned you. The men of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai told you 2024 is going to turn up the heat. The Most High turned it up instantly. And so that's what we're doing. We're out here, we're waiting for the MOTB, waiting for these things to come to pass. There's only two major things left. MOTB and World War III, really. And but now is the start of the year, according to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Now, this month that we're in, at the minute, today's Friday night. So what's this, day 14? Friday night to Saturday night, it's day 14. And so this year, technically, according to the Most High, is 14 days old. So, we're calling this 2024 the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has turned up the heat. But now the real year starts. And don't forget, very soon in the future, as much as we're sitting here counting 2024, 25, like I keep saying, by 2026, you're not going to be saying 2026. You're going to be speaking Hebrew. You're going to have the laws and customs and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai installed into you. And this whole system is going to be done away with. The language, the calendar, and everything else. So really, we need to start getting used to it. And like I say, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is coming on his timing, on their timing. They turned up the heat on 2024, according to what the prophets told you. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And now, when you really consider it, just like it was, from midnight to 4 p.m., you had that controversy over time. There's a controversy over time between when the new year starts. And the new year actually starts now. And so when you think a year from now to roughly next March is the Hebrew calendar year, based according to the lunar cycle. The calendar we live under in the Westernized society, the Gregorian calendar, is based on the solar cycle. So you think a year from now to what's happening, things are really going to, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is really, really going to turn up the heat. And how do we know? Because we see the signs in the heavens. We understand that the solar eclipse is coming. Solar eclipse, this is what time is the solar eclipse in the USA. In the USA, totality will begin in Texas at 1:27 p.m. Central Time and will end at 3:35 p.m. Eastern Time on the 8th of April 2024. So, you can argue about the time. People might give variations. The point of the matter is it's coming in the afternoon in America, and it's coming on the 8th of April. What happens on the 8th of April? You have the second month. The second month starts when you look it up. See, at the minute we're in the first month of the year, and very soon we'll be in the second month of the year. So the next new moon will occur on Monday, April the 8th at 2:21 p.m. EDT or 18:21 GMT. So I'm living according to Greenwich Mean Time, and this is a new moon, which you notice when they show you the picture of the new moon, you can't see the moon, which is when the new moon is. The new moon is when there's no moon at all. Then it grows in size every day, and that is the moon waxing. And then you get to a point where the full moon is complete, it's fully round, and then after that point every day it starts to reduce in size, and then it's waning. And so this determines the Hebrew biblical calendar, which is what Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai want us to follow. And that's why I'm saying to you, so if you're new, you got to understand that we're looking at that particular calendar and understanding that this month we're in at the minute is the first month of the year. And so within the first month of the year, the last afternoon, because don't forget, see, he says here, look, so for me, for example, 18:21, so 6:21 p.m. is when the next new moon, when there's no moon, comes in, signifying the start of the second month. So, if you're paying attention, you actually contemplate what is showing here. If I'm wrong, please forgive me, leave a comment on the comment board. But on Monday night, when the sun goes down, on the 7th, people in America, it says here EDT, Eastern, if I forgot what it stands for. Like North America, Canada, certain parts is it Eastern District time. So the Monday night, so when the sun goes down on Monday the 7th, it's the start of the last day of Aviv in America and UK. It will come in the UK and then obviously in America. And then you have a slither because the moon will be waning. You have a little slither. That's all we'll see. And then on Monday night, the 8th of April, when the sun goes down, we won't see a moon because it will be the new moon. As you can see here, the new moon. There is no moon because the next day or after that, 2 days, you've got another sliver and it starts to grow again, like the new moon. So in between the 7th and the 8th, you're going to see a slither, then you're going to see no moon. So on the 7th, you're going to see the slither, and on the 8th, you're then going to see no moon, signifying the start of the second month. Yet, that's all we're going to see. Yet somehow, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai is going to use the whole moon to cast a shadow on America to create that solar eclipse. So get your head around that. That's how you know this is the wondrous work of Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High. He can do anything he wants. You just have to let it be known. We're gonna see the slither when the sun goes down on the 7th, the last day of Aviv, and the first day of the second month is it Iyar. Gonna have no moon Monday. The sun goes down on the 8th, but in between that, the Most High is using the whole moon somewhere out there. We're not gonna see it until the eclipse comes, and then you're gonna see it in the eclipse, and then it's gonna disappear. So let's get your head around that. I mean, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm trying to twist my brain. It's 3 a.m, so if I'm wrong, just leave a comment on the comment board. But according to what I'm looking at, getting my head around it, and I did type into YouTube, 3D model of the 2024 eclipse, but I couldn't come across it. But that's why I'm kind of looking at it and showing you, before the month ends, when we see no moon, which is the new moon, the Most High is going to bring an eclipse by using the full moon to block out the sun. And then think about it. In America, you could be in America, you see the eclipse. The whole moon is being used to block out the sun to bring the eclipse. And then when the sun goes down that night, it's a new moon. There's no moon. So on the last afternoon of the first month of the year is when Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai is bringing that solar eclipse to America. And there's many videos that have gone out, lately, regarding that solar eclipse in all these places. Nineveh, that is going to be crossing. Nineveh is, if you like, code language for America in the Bible. I got this information off a Christian video. These Christian people, and when you go through their so you look here, for example, Little Egypt, and if you don't know, there are 2 eclipses to cross America and create an X. One was 2017, one is going to happen on the 8th of April 2024. These are 7 years apart, which mean completion, and a lot of people in America are really worried about this particular eclipse. It's a very rare occurrence, and the last time it happened, I believe, is what they say, 100 odd years ago, 200 years ago, something like that, there was huge earthquakes in America during that time. So, these Edomites, the people in America are prepping for this particular event because this rare occurrence is happening again. We know, according to the Bible, 7 is a number of completion. This rare event is 7 years apart from actually taking place, from being completed, and being something that's coming in the first month of the year. Is definitely a sign of what's to come within this Hebrew biblical calendar year that we're just starting. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is pretty much doing, starting the year off. And first order of business is the Passover, and then the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And then, right on the last day of the year, last day of the month, the first month of the year, he's throwing a sign onto America. This is a clear sign, and so what he's showing is that he's about to X out this place. It's pretty much done. There may be certain events that take place on this day, and what they call so-called natural events, or there may be planned events. We know that the elites in America ultimately want to bring down society, so they might use it as an excuse to bring in a false flag event, or make up some sort of disaster in order to bring order out of it. But ultimately, what this signifies is, from this point onwards, we've been out here warning you. I myself, I said in the beginning of 2023, I said you've got 3 years, 23, 24, 25. I said by 26 we'll be out of here. You've seen the small hats; they've been activated in the Middle East to fulfill a prophecy of Jeremiah 49:20, I believe. So, World War III is been activated. We warned you that 2024 things are going to get hectic, and since then, we've seen, for example, this escalation in the problem with the civil war in Babylon the Great, America. Everybody's still looking out for signs of the MOTB, but the MOTB is going to be the thing that they offer you at the end of all the problems to bail you out of the problems. But they're not going to be able to bail you out of the problems. So we're not going to see the MOTB until we see Jacob's trouble, all these things happening in full effect. And then it will be part of Jacob's trouble, and it will develop when the MOTB gets made mandatory. And so, like for myself, for example, I said even at the beginning of the year, you give it a year and a half, and Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is going to do some wondrous work on this particular place, Babylon the Great, America. And now, you think about it, things have escalated. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai stepped it up another level. We've got all these things on the edge, and now we have the start of the year. So we can start again. We can set the clock again on 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Obviously, according to the Hebrew biblical calendar, it's not 2024, but clearly Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is about showing us a sign that this is the year that he's about to make stuff happen. When you go into it further, so there's the eclipse that came in 2017 that crossed it says the 7 Salems. So the first part of the X, which came in 2017, it passed all these different places named Salem. Now, when you go to scripture, for example, you look up the word Salem, and Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine. It's Genesis 14:18, and he was priest of the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. So you will believe Melchizedek is Yahushai actually through the Spirit. So, so Salem, and Salem is what Jerusalem used to be called at one point, city of peace. It says Salem, peace. So when I was watching that Christian video, just trying to extract that information, a lot of them are saying, this X is bringing peace. Yeah, this is the they think that America is the new Jerusalem. No. They're taking the messages and they're twisting it and they're getting it very wrong. And when you look at the root of Salem, it's a Sholem. You have complete, safe, peaceful, perfect, whole, full, at peace. So it's still telling you peace, but it's peace because it's a completeness. Like when people say, "Oh, I'm at one with myself," so they feel complete, and they believe they're feeling peace. And so when you go back to, where is it? When you go back to the X, on 2017, you had it striking through, if you like, peace, but completion, like a completion. It's a bit like when people say rest in peace. You've died, you've completed it all, you've done what you've got to do, you're in the ground, and then they say, "Oh, I hope he rests in peace." So, what's resting in peace? Nineveh, America. They cross over in Little Egypt. Many people have gone into these things recently. So there's many bits of information out there, and I don't know if anyone came across this, but I found out even the street at the actual epicenter where the cross meets over, the street is even called Salem Road. So it's definitely a completion of some sort. And what's going on the other side? You've got Nineveh. Going back here, so you've got Nineveh now. This 2024 solar eclipse is coming across with Nineveh. How many times Nineveh? It crosses over the previous eclipse where Little Egypt is. These are all Little Egypt, Mystery Egypt, New Egypt, Nineveh. These are all code names for America in Babylon the Great. So completion of America, of Babylon the Great, of Nineveh, completion. This is what it's showing you. And the completion also happens to be in the shape of an X. And they cross right over the street, which is Salem Road. And there's other things to it, Devil's Lake and all these other things. There's plenty of information out there, videos that have been going out recently. So I'm just kind of going over what's already been said. So then you got these two particular eclipses, and you had another eclipse that came to pass on the 14th of October 2023. So now this X turns into something else. Now in October, roughly around about that time, you had the start of the Little Hats and what they did. And what they did was activate the go-ahead for World War III. You see, you have the elites of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, his men. And then you have the elites on the wicked on the left-hand side, the elites on the banking elites. And both groups of elites watch each other, and we see that messages that each other are pushing out. And that's why very soon they're going to look to ban these scriptures and ban us speaking these scriptures, especially online. So we're watching each other, we're seeing what they're doing, they're seeing what we're doing. The people in the middle, they have no clue, and then both groups of people who are watching each other are then watching the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, to see what he does. And so we've watched, we know this completion of this is coming. The Edomites are scared because they got their record books. They've got their record books. They say, well, in 1850, whatever, this happened and that happened. So they've recorded it down. So they know these things are going to happen because they have them written down, they have them recorded, they work out the patterns, the cycles, and so they can predict the ones coming up in the future. And so what's happening at the minute, they're looking at it and they're like, well, this is could spell trouble according to the pattern. If certain things repeat themselves, then we're going to be in big trouble. But and like I say, something could happen on this particular day. It could be a so-called natural event, which is Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, bringing earthquakes. It could be these elites in America bringing more chaos. Because ultimately what their plan is to do is to bring chaos to America so they can instill a new order. And that same order is something they want the whole world to follow, MOTB. And then you've got this other eclipse. Now these are quite important when you understand symbolization. You've got Paleo Hebrew in the middle, for example, Hebrew letter Aleph. You could should say alpha or aleph. So that's what gets created by this particular pattern. Don't forget, this pattern is completed on the last afternoon of the first month of this year. 2024, I know it's not the Hebrew year 2024, but it's the 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And now the Hebrew year starts, and now I believe, with the completion of this symbol, now I believe that Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai is really going to get busy. So, but without the 2023 eclipse, just the X alone, you then come up with the Hebrew letter, Paleo-Hebrew Tav. And so these are, the first and the last letters in the Hebrew alphabet. We go back to the scriptures. If you're familiar with the Greek language or church symbols, you might notice that the image above depicts the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet. Here you go, this particular image here. This fucking internet is doing my nutting. It says, you might notice that image above depicts the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, which are Alpha and Omega on each side of the cross. The Greek letters are not in conflict with Alpha and Tav in this writing's title, which are the first and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet, otherwise known as the alphabet. So, that's where you get the word alphabet. And so what you're seeing there in America, you're seeing the first and the last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Yahweh Shai is the king of the Jews. The Jews speak Paleo-Hebrew. And Revelation 22, 22 and 12 says, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And that's Yahweh Shai. Now, the phrase Alpha and Omega come up 4 times in the book of Revelation. I think it's twice in chapter 1 and 20, chapter 21 once, and once in chapter 22. I went to chapter 22 because this is the final message, and that's what I believe. What we're seeing, that symbol that's about to be completed on America, the start of the Hebrew year, the Hebrew biblical calendar year. That is Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, showing that I'm about to make this work. People are seeing this symbol, they're seeing this sign. A lot of people misinterpret it. Some people are going to try and take photos, turn it into an event. Some people are scared. They think that because these Edomites, they've looked at their history and they said, well, we're due an earthquake at the same time or whatever else. The true men of the Most High are looking at it and going, well, this is a real symbol here. This is a stamp. When you stamp something, it's done. That's why shalom, completion, peace. This kingdom is now going to be put to rest. That's what Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai is about to do. We've spoken of judgments. We've spoken of things that are going to happen in that Jacob's trouble, 2nd Ezra 15:16. Even up until this point today, people get judged every day. Things are happening all the time. But now is the time where we really see we said 2024 the heat's gonna turn up. It did, but now it's really gonna turn up. And then I believe that between now, this year, and next March, that Hebrew calendar year, according to the lunar cycle, is Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai is going to do some real damage to the people on this planet Earth. It's time to fasten your seatbelt. It's that final message. I'll read it quickly, 22 and 10. This is, and he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. And when you see the completion of that symbol in America, there's that saying for the time is at hand. You couldn't emphasize it more than you could at this particular point. All these thousands of years, and now that phrase should be cutting straight into your soul and ringing alarm bells. It says, for the time is at hand. It says, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. It says, fuck him. It says, he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. Fuck him. It says, he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. It says, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to as his work shall be. So that reward is coming. And that's what this is showing you. The completion of his kingdom. I'm rubber stamping it. April the 8th, 2024. And now the reward comes. People say, oh, well, you still got the MOTB to come. That's one more final act from Esau, from the Edomites. That's one more act from this kingdom that has to come before it's put to rest. No, that act is an act of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. The MOTB and World War III are tools of judgment, tools of temptation and tools of judgment. You've done all this wickedness up until now, but when that MOTB comes out, that's the final excuse to say, okay, you really accept these people. This goes out to the nation of Israel only. That message, you take that MOTB, you accept them, and I've got that excuse to go all out on you. And so, really, the tribulation, the World War III, the judgment, MOTB is part of that. World War III is part of that. That is Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, making that visitation and doing stuff. It's not Esau. The MOTB isn't Esau doing stuff to you. It's Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai trying to do stuff to you to see if you'll take it. It's temptation. So the reward is coming. I believe within this next year. You got to consider this scenario with the MOTB. We can see the Civil War, we can see World War III, but what about the MOTB? Well, with the MOTB, you've got two basic directions to go in. One is a removal of cash. Cash has to be removed. You can keep your credit card, or you can keep, on your bank, on the app. You can keep seeing the numbers on the screen, but they need to remove cash. Now, to remove cash, you need a financial catastrophe. So, call it a financial collapse, or whatever, inflation, all these things, whatever. That's one thing that has to happen. Then you have to have another thing. And another thing is taking the device under your skin. Now, that step is a very huge step. It's a big step to tell the people, we've crashed, the system's crashed, sorry, you've got no money, but we'll reinstate it, but it's digital. See, that's a big step, but it's not as big a step as taking a device under your skin. To take the device under your skin, you have to use fear. How do you use fear? So you have to use violence and disease. So what we had in 2020 and 2021, I don't know if anyone remembers, but in 2022, they were talking about the next one. People call it X, but in 2022, they gave us the name, and they were saying, 2025. Well, the name could change, but 2025, we could start off 2025, January, February, March, still within this Hebrew calendar year, according to the lunar cycle, from now to a year. So that's what I believe. This from now on, it's just the Most High is going to turn up the heat. You got between now and the end of 2024, the problems in America are just going to grow and grow and grow. People are going to become more frustrated, more problems. People are thinking that Biden's going to be voted out and Trump's going to come in, but that's what they want you to think. To remember, they want to crash the system. So what will upset the people the most come January the 1st is for Biden to reassume power in America. And that will throw everybody, will be having wobblies. They'll all be throwing wobblies. Everybody will be losing their shit. The way it's going, they got you gasping in America for one particular president, which is Trump. If they go and give you the other, because we know they fix the ballot system, so they go and give you the other one, it's going to send you Americans out of your mind. You're going to lose your shit. Then they're going to throw disease out there, and then guess what? People are going to be worried for violence, worried for disease, and they're going to feel like the only choice is to maybe take that device under their skin, keep themselves monitored, keep themselves tracked and traced. To involve the financial crash and the removal of cash at that time is very difficult. So I believe that might come first. That's why I say you've got two things to deal with when it comes to the MOTB. But really, like I say, these are all tools of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. The MOTB, you could say is one more final act from this kingdom, but really it's a final act in this kingdom by Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai to tempt his people, to test his people. When they fail the test, and then comes the judgment. It says, and behold, I come quickly, my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning, the end, the first and the last. Or you could say, is it Aleph and Tav? It says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter it through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. I, Yahweh Shai, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches, and I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. It says, and the Spirit and the bride say, come, and let him that heareth say, come. Let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written within this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. So, those teachers out there that are, twisting this up, there's a lot of people out there that claiming to be Hebrew Israelite leaders or teachers or whatever. Are they even warning you of this solar eclipse? Are they even going into it? Are they even giving you a timeline of, obviously the scriptures tell you, no man know the day or the hour. But if you're so deep into prophecy, you know them all back to front like the back of your hand, surely you could give me a guesstimate, an educated guess. But I don't hear it. I don't hear it from no one. Obviously, the men of GMS, I'm not part of GMS, but I learned from the men of GMS, they will give you a guesstimation. But outside of that, you're not really hearing it. People just, too busy challenging each other, debating. No, it's okay, yeah, you can do that, but at least give me the time, at least break down how long we got, roughly, according to your spiritual eye, but they don't do it. You watch them for hours and hours and hours. Not one inkling, not even an inkling into like how long we got left. It says, he which testifies these things saith, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so come Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. It says, the grace of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach be with you all. Amen. So it's about to get deep out here. You can go into it yourself, look up information, you be here all day. So many different examples. Just typed in events that have coincided with solar eclipses. It's arguably the most famous solar eclipse was one that coincided with the death of England's King Henry I in 1133. Since chaos and civil war followed, an eclipse in Turkey in 585 BC had the opposite effect. says, warring armies took it as a sign from the gods that perhaps they should try to get along. So, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai will send these signs, these symbols, messages, and if you have a spiritual eye, you can decipher it. You see major changes taking place at that time, and right now it doesn't look good for Babylon the Great. The reason why I mentioned having that particular vision at the beginning, the cry made, is because when I came to the truth, that's how I found out I was a Hebrew Israelite. And I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't know at the time about these scriptures. I didn't know about the solar eclipse. But what happened, I was at work, and it was midnight, and literally, and working and sitting on the screen, looking at multiple screens, doing whatever, answering the phone, and then the Holy Spirit came. And so what it does, kind of puts you into a trance. You can see, you know where you are, you're in the room around you, you know what's going on, but all of a sudden things start playing out in front of your mind. And the first thing I saw was this, like the planet Earth, like this, but I wasn't looking at the whole Earth. I was looking over to my left, and you have to understand this image was upside down. I don't know why, and it was back to front. So, you're looking at South America down on the bottom left, and it was actually in the top right. North America was bottom right. And I don't know why, but this is what it is. It showed, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai showed it to me like that. Now, after that, when I look, because you see this stuff, and then you react, you move, you look, you see that in your mind, you're concluding things. So the first thing that happened, that appeared, and I looked over to the left, and I saw something like this, like the pyramids appear. This internet is whack. Fucking strangle the router. Yeah, like stuff like this. This is what I saw. Something like this, bang, just appeared. You just see this, and that image then showed up. Going back to this one. Don't forget, this was upside down, and then left to right, so over Asia was over on the left, upside down, and that's where the pyramid appeared. Bang, and then out of the pyramid grew vines, like roots, like vines. I call it like a vine. When you have the vine plants that grow, and they grow around the house, and they grow around the house, and they will just going everywhere. And you just, if you ever try to pull one of them off a house, it's a nightmare. It's just, the bits are just going all round into the window frame, into the door frame. They're just digging in, just getting in everywhere. And this is what the roots did. They moved over the earth in real time. And so, like I say, when it first appeared, I looked to the left, I saw the pyramids, and I said, oh, it's Egypt. And then it moved across, the roots came out, started to move across. As they moved across the planet, I realized that these people were people of the planet. Muslim people, Christian people, these people, that people, Chinese people, Jesuits, they were all there. You're all there. And what's happening is they're passing through. They're all. I didn't see any other kingdom, but I saw Rome in the middle, Egypt. So is it 2nd Ezra's 12? Not Egypt, sorry, Rome. Yeah, Rome. 2nd Ezra's 12 in the middle, just kind of highlighted. That was caught. As the roots are moving across, it's like you couldn't really miss that Rome was in the middle there, and it was just like this, it just stood out. And then so what happened? The roots got to the water, and they stopped, and then they went over the water. And first of all, again, don't forget, I saw the vision when it appeared. That picture was upside down, back to front, so it was going from left to right. And it got to the edge of the water on Africa, and then it moved up to the top right, the vine, and it moved up to the top right of South America. And then I understood wickedness and idolatry, and I understood false gods. Basically, false gods was probably the best phrase. what I understood, false gods. And then the vine from the water from Africa then grew again into America. And so went over to America, and then I saw the sword come through America at an angle, cut it, chopped it. And what it was, when you look at it, you speak of, you read of Daniel, and he says that these cogitations changed, and he had his vision, and what it is, some prophets see stuff that's like gruesome and horrifying. So the type of thing where you close your eyes and you see it again, and you're scared and you wake up. And then, but then some things the Most High shows you are very simple, but they're very frightening. So when he showed the sword go through America, I couldn't give a shit about America. I've never been there. It's nothing to do with me. But I saw the sword go through it, and when it went through it, it wasn't blood and guts. It wasn't people's insides pouring out all over the floor. But it hits your nerve. You're just shook. You're literally just shook. You're just sucking of breath. Just suck your breath in. And he did that, and then before you can even gather yourself, then the next part comes. So that was like Act 1, and then Act 2, and then Act 2 was a message, 3-part message. Hitler was right. That was the first part. The small hats are fake. The Bible is for you. Now, I told this story to many people, and people think you're bugged out. They don't believe you. They look at you like whatever, whatever. Basically, that's what I saw. Scriptures tell you, Yahweh, Hashem, Hawashai revealeth the secrets unto the servants, the prophets. So, saw that 3-part message. That was obviously something for me to consider and take. All this stuff obviously had to go on, and then find someone who's breaking down the scriptures, who can break it down to me, show me what this all means. At that point, I had no idea. So I had that bit, and then the earth came up, part 3. The earth came, and it was spinning, and it was covered in deceit, like a spider's web. It was just all over it. It was just like, oh, I don't want to touch that. You go into like the garden, in the backyard, and you go out there and you find a ball, a little ball in your hand that's been out there all winter, and it's just covered in like spider webs and just shit and slime, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to touch that. And that's what it was. You're looking at the planet and you're just like, it's fucking like filthy. It's just filthy because of the deceit. It's absolutely fucking, it's just disgusting. So I saw that, and then the last thing at the end was Yahushua came over the top of me, went over the top. It was a spirit. It's like something just went whoosh, like the Predator. I've heard people use that analogy before, and it's very true. You see them in the Predator, and they're walking around the forest, and they don't know where Predator is, but he's there, and that's what it is. So I saw the 3,000 years, Egypt to America, saw the 3-part message, saw the earth, and then each time I'm seeing something, it's just hitting me. It's like the first I saw America with the sword. I was like, fuck. Then I've been told that the Bible's for you. So my whole life has been turned around. I've been told I have a different identity, and then shown how filthy the earth is. Just change the way you see everything instantly. Change your cogitations. The moment you finish that vision, you just look at everything differently. And then the last thing, this being just went vroom over me like Predator, like fast, zoom. And what it was, obviously, I knew that was the Son of the Most High. I didn't know what his name was. I didn't know what the Most High's name was, but I knew that was the Son of the Most High. And I knew he was coming to fuck some shit up. And then that was it. And then, when that finished, you're like, you're just beside yourself. You're just down, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do with yourself. You imagine you see all that play out, and then you just, you see us read these prophets, and they saw this and saw that, and that's, so yeah, do you know what you do? You get shown that stuff. You don't even know where to start. You don't even know where to go. You don't even know what to say, what to do. You're trying to tell people, and they're just like, what? They think you've just lost your mind. 6 months. 6 months I had to hold that information in my head, trying to work it out, and I couldn't find one person that could fucking explain it. And then obviously I started coming across Hebrew Israelites, GMS. Okay, they explain it, now I understand, blah, blah, blah. But it's like you want people to experience it, but at the same time, it'll bug you out. It'll actually bug you out. You have to be quite mentally strong to be able to handle it. But the Most High knows what He's doing. Knows who's who. And but like I say, at the end of the first part, end of play 1, the 3,000 years, Egypt to Egypt, you come to find out, that's our story, that's our journey, our people. We went from captivity to captivity, via captivity, and so now we're in America, and now it's going to find the end in America. And so with that sword, what you're looking at here, for example, I saw the sword slice through America. Now it's upside down. Like I say, turn the map upside down and then flip it over left to right, and you'd find America down in the bottom right. And what it was, that's where the sword sliced through. Hard to remember which way the sword went, but I believe it went the way of the solar eclipse of the 2024. It was definitely in the X shape. So what I believe is that the 2017 solar eclipse had already happened. This vision happened to me in January 2018, and then I was shown the second part of the eclipse, the swipe. Now when I left the vision, I was trying to work stuff out, and even when I found teachers, it still takes time to learn the scriptures and understand what's going on. But the whole time I'm still sitting there, and what it is in my mind, the whole time I knew 2024 was going to be a big year. I didn't want to say that it's specifically the year the Lord comes back, but I knew that this is a big year for some particular reason, a pivotal year. And to show you how long ago I thought this, okay, this was in 2018 and 2019, before 2020, before Biden. So imagine I thought at the time, Trump's going to sit here in power till 2024, and he's just going to blow up the world, as they say. So then or World War III or whatever. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, so then, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to grow in the scriptures. And then 2020 came, and then Trump's out, and I'm sitting there thinking, shit. So what it is, I've mentioned 2024 here and there, but I never really knew why. And then obviously on the 31st of December last year, obviously I thought, well, let me find a video makes what to watch out for in 2024. Like they do in the movies, what to watch out for in 2024, the solar eclipse. And then it started to make sense. So that's why lately, in the last few months, started to go back over the vision, try to keep replaying it in my mind, keep seeing it, see what I can spot, what I couldn't remember before, I couldn't work out. And that's what I was doing tonight. And that's why, ultimately, the Holy Spirit threw in the cry made. See, I wasn't even thinking about that, but it connected it for me. He just said, oh, by the way, you do realise that the cry was made at midnight. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. So, so what I should also really mention to give you a clearer picture of that particular event, having that vision, having all that information shown to me, playing out through holographic video form, if you like. That whole experience, probably lasted like a second. I mean, for all I know, it could have been 10 minutes. I was at work at the time, so I was supposed to be sitting in that office, answering the phone and watching all these screens. And when the vision happened, obviously it caught my attention. It made me turn away from what I was doing, so I'm facing the opposite way. I'm looking up into the sky, basically. and then it all came. And for all, like I say, you're in a trance, because for all I know, that could have been 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but really it felt like a second. It felt like 1 second, bang, and that all happened. But then to think back and think, yeah, but every time I saw something, I responded. I saw Egypt, I said, yeah, that's Egypt. I saw America, I said, yeah, that's America. And all that information that was coming in, and in my mind, without actually speaking, I'm responding to it. I'm saying, oh yeah, that's that, that's this, that's that. So then you think to yourself, well, how did that all happen within like a second? Literally a second. It just felt like a 1 second. You think, well, how does that all process within that short space of time? So maybe it was 10 minutes, maybe it was 15 minutes, maybe I was in a trance, maybe how should I put the spirit on nobody to, because the phone didn't ring. I was at work. Phone pops off all the time when I was in that job at the time. And especially at night time, so obviously I'd be interrupted, but yeah, it lasted like a second. It's the best way I can describe it. It's like taking a book, and I wouldn't say the Bible, because the Bible is, if the Most High had used the whole Bible, he would have shown me everything from the Bible, but he didn't. He showed me certain parts. So it's a book, but not as big as the Bible, probably half the size, a quarter of the size. Any book. Imagine taking a book, and imagine taking this book like a manual for a car. And then imagine I took the book, and then I hit you on the head with the book. And then imagine all the words, the information, the understanding, the picture of it. Imagine it all fell into your mind. Imagine I took a manual for a car, I came up to you, I hit you on the head, and all that information just automatically falls into your mind. So now you're standing there and you're going, I understand radiators and cooling systems and torque converters. I understand intake manifolds, but you don't know what it means. What's an intake manifold? What does it connect to? And then you find a teacher, and the teacher says, look, this is a car, and all these bits belong to the car, and if you put them together, they make the car drive. And you say, oh, okay. That's what it is. So having like a vision like that, it's a lot of information. If you wrote it down, you could put it into multiple chapters. In that instance, it feels like a second. It could have been 5 minutes, could have been whatever, but to me, you're pretty much, one way of describing it, you wouldn't really use that way of describing it normally, but one way of describing it is a like a heavy possession, a spiritual possession that latches onto you, and then all of a sudden you're just in this little, like, if you like, dream world where you're seeing all these things. But yeah, the whole experience probably lasts a second. Ideally, you'd think it would last a lot longer because of the way the information is going back and forth and the way you're responding to it. But I believe it was like a second. But yeah, the Most High can do that. How Shai can do anything he wants. You think you're using the full capacity of your brain, and you have no idea what the full capacity of your brain is. There are bits in there, and how Shai can just unlock. Like I say, take a book, bang it on your head, and all the information falls into your brain. And now you're talking about intake manifolds, radiators, cooling systems, torque converters, differential. What do all these things mean? Oh, they connect to the car, they connect to the Bible. They complete the story of prophecy. I don't like to talk about myself, but obviously that's what I'm describing is a biblical event, and I believe through all that connection and seeing the solar eclipse, I think that this is the year. The Most High's 2024 starts now. 14 days ago, and now he's really going to turn up the heat. This is Isaiah. I'll leave you with this. This is Isaiah 34:1. It says, the Most High's wrath against the nations. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. It says, for the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all the armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. So their slain also shall be cast out, and their stick shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. It says that all the hosts of heavens shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, as the falling fig fall from the fig tree. I'm trying to get to the point that I really want. I was just breezing through it, but the heavens rolling together as a scroll, it represents the nuclear ICBMs. It says, and all their hosts shall fall down, and the leaf as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is Greek for Edomites, he's Edomites, Esau, and Babylonians, America, the banking elites. This is it, and upon the people of my curse to thy judgment. So, Idumea and the people of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai's curse that are due to get judged. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, the sword that I saw in the vision. The sword came down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse. That's what I just explained. I saw in the vision, the sword, which came in the form of the 2024 solar eclipse in that direction. What does the 2024 solar eclipse show you? It shows you the beginning of the end. Aleph and Tav. And another thing I want to add, just to be totally honest with you, I remember the vision, and I remember the details, and I definitely remember the sword going through America. I'm a little bit hazy on the direction. I know it went at an angle, a diagonal, part of an X. Sometimes I think it was in the direction of the 2017 eclipse, solar eclipse. Sometimes I think it was the 2024 one. But that's because 6 years went by, and even though I remember the sword, I didn't really concentrate on the actual direction that whole time. But I'm still able to extract the message, because when I left the vision, then the Spirit was on me to concentrate on 2024. I was doing that for a long time, and I didn't really know why. So then the message is that the sword swipes through. You've got 2024 now. Spirit's also on me to say, well, 2024, I don't think it's the year that the Lord comes back. That's because in 2024, the Hebrew calendar year starts now. So I believe from now till in a year's time, if the Lord ain't back, if Yahweh ain't back in a year's time, a year and a week, we could be like literally days away from it. But obviously, when it comes to the sword swiping, what I saw, sometimes I think more lean towards it in the direction of the 2017 solar eclipse. And then I understood the destruction, and like I say, I left the vision, and then I was back in the room, and then I was thinking of 2024. So now seeing all these signs, seeing the second solar eclipse, the second swipe, that makes sense. 2024 also makes sense why I didn't want to concentrate on 2024 too much, because we'll pretty much still be here in 2025, but how far into 2025, I doubt it'll be very far. But I just wanted to say that, so you can. So I'm being honest. End of the day, which way did the sword swipe? A bit hazy. Like I say, I lean more towards the direction of the 2017 one, but the message is still the same. It's time to fasten your seatbelts. It says the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh have the sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Bozrah was the capital of Edom in ancient times, and modern day Bozrah is America, the land of Idumea. These Edomites, it says, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And so that's the bit I wanted to get to, what did it say? It says the sword is filled with blood. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. So I saw that in the vision. I'm telling you, that's the solar eclipse. You see the symbol, beginning and the end. That means, and it's coming at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the Hebrew year. It's also 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And it's all coming together nicely. It says, and he goes on to say, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, that's the day of the Most High, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of signs. And so that's what we're seeing now. That symbol is coming at the beginning of the year. It's showing completion of this kingdom. It's time to put it to rest. The beginning and the end. Yahweh Shai, Alif, and Tav is on his way, very close. And I believe that this year now we're going to see things work up nicely to a treat. It says, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. So, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai gave the Japanese a New Year's Day gift at 4 p.m. when the sun went down. And now he's going to give them another gift. The year of recompenses. Happy New Year to you 2/3 and you other nations. That's what you like to say. Well, there you have it. And when you go to the word year, it's sanah. Just to confirm. Year, a division of time, a measure of time, an indication of age. So you could say it's the age. You look at the root. Shana, to repeat, to again, change and alter. So the year changes, the year repeats, and we're at the beginning of the year. We have a symbol that shows us that Nineveh is complete, is at rest. RIP, and that means Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is about to do some marvelous work to destroy that place, as well as some people. So there you have it, solar eclipse, the year of recompense. The word recompense, actually, I was going to look that up as well. Don't forget, Yahweh Shai is the lawyer for the elect of the nation of Israel. By Yahweh Shai going on the cross, he's pretty much got us off the hook from this judgment, if we are to be of that number and are to survive this judgment that's coming up. See, we can only go into the kingdom of heaven if the wicked get judged. So the wicked have to get judged. But those that are the elect, they get pretty much off the hook. They've had to go through in a different route, shall we say. So this destruction is taking place, the year of recompense, from the things you took place, just going back to that word, the things that you did, the wickedness, the things that you did, the only way you can get away from it is by taking that judgment, and then that will satisfy Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. So a requital, a reward, they get their reward, which is the judgment, and the elects get their reward, which is to be saved from the judgment. So that's the year. The sword is coming down. So I hope that was edifying. I'm going to leave it right there. Until next time, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rakak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.